Hey, hi everyone. Yeah, I'm gonna be early. I know Faye just said 1 more minute, but I wanted to say hi. Hey everyone. Nice to see chat. So lively and active, and you guys talking about the topic, talking about robots. I love robots too. Hi. Yeah, it looks like a lot of people are struggling with this one, so try our best to be active in chat for this one. Ask me some questions, and I'd love to humor you guys. Ooh, yeah, thank you. We do have over 10 subs now, so thanks for all the support, you guys. Even for people who just watch, you don't have to be a member, but everybody who's supporting us by watching, thank you so much. Yes. Robots are pretty fun to draw. Yeah, some people are saying, like, they didn't even want to try to draw, which is, like, I want to encourage people. After the stream, you're gonna want to draw robots. Yeah. All the joints, it's all because of the joints that robots are hard. Yeah, I'll try to give tips on that as well. I do know that's a big struggle for people. Like, I know even for mechs, even for the mech stream, I did the same. I tried my best to talk about that one. But yeah, I guess I do want to formally get started. We're gonna for the stream, we're gonna be learning how to draw robots. Watch me draw a robot from start to finish, from sketch to full color. But before that, there are a few things I want to share. Um, so again, before we begin, welcome everybody to the stream. And in case you didn't know, our growing community is filled with tons of art nerds, and we art nerds have to stick together. If you're an art nerd too, be sure to check out the links to our social media in the description below, and check out our website for class offerings where you can get critique, guidance, and encouragement from our instructors like me. Because we're not just a YouTube channel, we're also an art school. If you'd like to support us so we could keep making free content, consider supporting us on Patreon for as little as $2 per month, where you can get access to tons of perks like my working files, critique sessions, class recordings, and a huge discount on our classes, and they're limited, so be sure to check those out before they're gone. Yeah. Deep, deep. It's Orange. Hello, welcome. Welcome back. I'm glad you could make it for this one. And yeah, with all the preamble, uh, with all this past the preamble, let's get started. How to draw a robot. So let's see here. I know drawing robots, they could easily be overwhelming. So I think for today, I'm seeing a lot of people, they don't know how to start, or they're struggling with joints, which is like something that should be addressed, I guess, early on in your drawings. So I do want to focus on that. So I'm going to write the steps that I like to keep in mind when I draw. So first of all, I think of the purpose of the robot. And then, yep. Because what won the poll was a gardener robot, actually. So gardener robot. Deep, deep, deep. Oh, you're going to the mall? Having a nice day at the mall? That's all good. Thanks for dropping by. Oh, you've been sick? Well, get well soon. But anyway, what was it? So first thing we have to do is define what the robot is for. And for us, we're doing a gardener robot. And yeah, so a gardener robot, I'm gonna list down the traits. It will tend to plants. Tend to plants. And what else, I guess? It nurtures plants, I guess. What else should it have? It should have tools, I guess. Tools for gardening. Or I should say, has tools for gardening. My robots are basically RGB knight armor. Oh yeah. I think if you learn how to draw robot joints, it'll be easier for you to draw armor and all that. Because you're familiar with how it moves, but I'm getting ahead of myself. Has tools for gardening. I can't spell gardening. So right now it's important to write down what we want our robot to be. Because when you go in without, I guess, at least an outline on your head, it'll be 100% difficult, you know. And number two, the most important thing is silhouette. Now, silhouette, when we're drawing robots, it doesn't have to be human-like. Does not have to be human-like. So, you know, humans have limitations. They have limited movement. So, we could be creative with how we do their movement, you know, their proportions, and all that. And of course, I do want to say my other tip is to start with 3D shapes. Oh, I can't spell shapes. So, the reason why I really like drawing robots is because we get to practice how to draw your 3D shapes. Because the secret to being able to draw anything is knowing the basic 3D shapes. So if you're struggling, you know, try to picture simple shapes in different perspectives. You know, for example, cylinders and cubes are a perfect example. And then the inside and the inside. Because that way you get a better grasp of the space that they're filling in. And it's way easier. So it's good to have this context before I continue on. Thinking of Robot Masters. Yeah, honestly, the Mega Man designs are classic. They're really good as well. That's one way we could do it. So I actually have two ideas in my mind actually right now. So I'm gonna start drawing it out right now. I wonder how I should do it. So I'm gonna grab a big brush actually. I'm gonna show you guys how to paint with just a silhouette. Yeah, exactly what Faye said. It's not just for drawing robots, it's also for drawing people, for drawing objects, any sort of environment. So yeah. I'm gonna try to draw like this bowl right here. So I'm doing this technique where I draw just the silhouette. Because if I draw just the silhouette, right, it breaks it down to the bare minimum, and I don't have to think as hard as to what I'm drawing. So for example, silhouettes, right, they're super important. But you can still recognize who I'm drawing, right? So like right there, you would recognize who this is, I hope, with my like wacky drawing, or, you know, like this, you'd still be able to recognize them, even though it's like the bare minimum, right? I hope you guys do. This is supposed to be Sonic and Mario. And so, what I'm trying to do right now is, instead of trying to draw, say, you know, the whole tub first, I'm just drawing the silhouette, and then I'll add the details afterwards. Oh yeah, that was Sonic. Yeah, Mr. Game & Watch, for sure. Another example. So I was thinking, in one of the concepts in my head actually is, right here we have a robot attached to like a floating tub sort of thing. And then I'm gonna put the details right here. So maybe we have like some plants like that. And I'm gonna draw some flowers, like. So in this phase, you know, we have no idea what the robot looks like. So right now I'm just trying the ideas, you know, every idea that pops into my head. So right there, got the robot. And even though it's just a silhouette, right, you're starting to see how the forms are coming along. And then afterwards, I will do another design, but I will focus on joints. I'll show you guys how I think about it. So, right there. And then I gotta remember that this is a gardener robot. So, I'm trying to think of things that a gardener would need. For example, I think a gardener would need, you know, a hose. So maybe they have like robot arms like this one on the side. So like on the side, have like robot arms just resting like that. And you can see that this is a really simple sketch, right? So, but it's still doing a good job of describing like the robot itself. So yeah, right there. And then maybe I'm gonna make another layer underneath. I'm gonna show these hands, what these hands look like in action. So maybe we got there. Maybe it's holding like a watering can right here. Yeah, even though it's the future, they still use watering cans in this one. And right there. So remember, whenever you're struggling and you have like a complicated subject, I guess, if you have a complicated subject like a robot, you wouldn't know where to start. The easiest way is always to keep it simple. Just keep stuff simple. Yeah, maybe one arm could be a shovel. True. Yeah. Or, I'm trying to think. I'm trying to think now. Because he has a watering can. But I wonder where they would keep it. So I would have the robot again. And that's another thing. When you're designing stuff, always ask yourself the questions. Questions you'd want to be answered, you know. So for example, like Orange said, like maybe they could have a shovel. So right there. Yeah, exactly what Faye said. Less is more. Yeah, because it's deceiving, right? You'd think that something simple is really basic, but really it's so hard to keep things simple. It's one of the hardest things. Ooh, a side panel or a basket. Ooh, that could work. So, oh, let me fix my layers actually. Good. Right there. Let me sort them out so that I could move it all around. Okay, I don't need you in there. Okay, perfect. Because I'm gonna move this a little bit up. And the important part about this, right? We did this fairly quickly. It was only like a few minutes. Because we want to get as much of our design out of the way. Because we want to see the whole picture before we, you know, hyper focus on details. And hi, welcome to stream. Welcome. And so maybe I've focused on the tub part. Magic powders in the pouch, so plants can grow instantly. Ooh. So it's like hyper scientific that it's almost like magic, huh? So I guess maybe I'll give him normal arms. That's what I haven't given him yet. So right there. So there's lots of arms happening in this robot. And maybe just because it's cute, I will give him a nice straw hat. Right there. And add a little bit of detail on the end of the straw hat. So there you go. And add the red stripe. Classic. you actually take the lessons? Oh yeah. Thanks for coming to class then. It's always funny to see students as well watching in chat. Yeah, we got a robo farmer here. So maybe to add to like the gardener aesthetic, this is another tip, right? Now that we have the purpose of our robot, try to associate. So before I even drew, actually, I was thinking, right? Gardener robot. So obviously the most important part, other than the robot itself, is the vegetables and like the plants. And the reason why I started with a big tub is because I'm thinking of like a planter, you know, because that's where the plants go. And then the second part would be how the robot would be taking care of them. So try to get into the mindset, because sometimes it's not about your drawing skill. Sometimes it's just the way you think about it, you know. So everybody has their own creative interpretation of this prompt, and I want you guys to be creative more than anything else. So yeah, don't try to go the simple route. Yeah. One thing I tend to look for in reference to drawing robots is ball jointed dolls. They help me with understanding the joints and stuff. Yeah, for sure. Actually, before I continue, since lots of people are talking about joints, I think the best way that you can help yourself out is to buy clay. Because if you buy clay, right, you have a real thing in your hands, and you should try to figure out how it moves, right? For example, I'll give you an example here. Let's say you bought like a nice piece of clay, and you want to figure out if your robot design works. So for example, maybe you thought, yeah, he has like a big shoulder plate, like this one. So my suggestion, if you want to see if this would work in your design, is you buy clay, right? And then you try your best to remake what your design is. And then you grab a toothpick and then you try to attach it. So like this is their toothpick. Like right there. And then try to see if it moves properly and how it moves, right? So let's say you moved it from like front to back, like, you know, like a butterfly joint. You bend the whole shoulder around. Try to move your clay figure around. Then try to see what kind of contours it makes. Because, you know, what's it called? The toothpick? It'll probably make scratches on your clay. And then you could figure out, oh, this is like the pathing of how it could move. And now that you've figured out the pathing of how the joints will move, you could add that to your design. You know, so sometimes it's good to have like the real thing. And the easiest way I could suggest is grabbing clay. You know. But sadly, I don't have clay on me right now. Like, honestly, I would do it, but sadly, I don't have. Yeah, Gunpla model? For sure, yeah. Gunpla models are way better. And another tip, actually, now that we're talking about Gunpla, I'll show you guys a little tip. I showed this as well in the mecha design. Because often, I see this robot design where, when they draw the elbows, it's something like this. So right there, and then right there. And then we have the screw. So this is what's called a, it's a one joint. It's a single jointed arm. So I should write that down. One joint. And that one joint is the thing in the elbow area. And so I'll show you how it bends, right? So it bends around the circle area. And you can see this is how it would move. And you can see that bump. It'll start to bump right here. So the limitation of the one joint is that it can't fully bend its arm. You know, it's only hold up, let me clean up. As a comparison, you can see that this is the limit because it starts to bump in to like the upper arm. But if you do something like a two joint, and let's see, is Photoshop better for drawing or Clip Studio? It's all up to you. Honestly, if you're just starting out, sorry, you could use any software really. Like Metabang is nice because it's free, and Krita. But if you want advanced software, then Photoshop and Clip Studio, they're definitely good picks. So you're gonna have to look in to which features work better for you. And so two joint. I'm gonna try to draw two joints as a comparison. Got the arm, and then maybe I'll just draw it separately right now. Right there. So for two joints, it's exactly like it sounds like right here. So I'm gonna Draw doop, doop. So these two joints is where it'll bend, actually. So I'm gonna add visual to it. We got it straight. And the main difference here is that I grab this. Yeah, perfect. Is say you bend like the lower arm, you can see that it bends all the way like right here. Doop. But at the same time, this can bend as well. Doop. And Control T. And you can see that, oh, I forgot the, let's see, which layer is it on? There we go. And then if we bend this arm, oh, it rotates like that, boom. Now you can see the difference between the, what's it called? The one joint and the double joint. So if this were an arm, it could do like the full, like 90 degrees, I guess. So, boop. And this is going back to earlier, right? So I mentioned that it does not have to be human-like. So I think I don't have to tell you guys that humans, they don't have two elbows, right? So try to be creative with the movement. Yeah, it's cool. I learned this from Gunpla, actually, from like robot model kits, so it's pretty cool. And see, that's another thing. Joints, you could take inspiration from anything. Like, it doesn't have to be straight up from a robot. So let me tidy up my file. Boop. Boop. Let me draw this aside. So like I said, you know, you could do the clay trick. Yeah, exactly. The legs of the Gunpla, they have that. And I love using that as a technique. And, you know, you could take inspiration from stuff just the moves, you know, like maybe like a door hinge even. So for example, I know door hinges are like this. So they have like that, like that. So for door hinges, right, they move like this, like a butterfly. So maybe you could try using that or something. And then if you're still having trouble with trying to figure out movement, so maybe try to do the movement that you want to do. For example, what's a good example? A good example I always like to use is the butterfly bend. So it's when you do this, basically. Excuse my voice, actually, sorry. And then right there. It's when you do this, when you push your shoulder forward and then backward. It's when you flap, I guess, like that. And let's see. And so to try to replicate that movement, you can try to be creative. So for example, we have the body of the robot. Maybe instead of like the whole shoulder like bending, maybe we have like tank treads like this one. And then this is the shoulder. So you could imagine that it bends around like that. I think I used the same example in the mech stream from last time. And so I'm gonna show the movement just like that. So yeah. And so I'm trying to think. I guess other than that, that's my little thing on joints. So let me put that aside. My little tangent. Yeah, using pen and paper for sure. Yeah, it has a. You don't really have to go to digital if you wanted to. So. Oh. No, well, you know, it takes work to get to where you want, and I'm sure you can do it. You can do it because nobody else could really take you there other than you, you know? So if your art is somewhere where you don't want it to be, then it just takes time, you know? So take that time. And I think the most important part is to try to have fun with it. Try to draw what you like, because drawing what you like, it keeps you motivated. And so And if you stay motivated, you know, you're consistent, and then you keep drawing. So yeah. And I think, let's see, for another design. So we have like this nice robot design, but I want to go at it at a different angle. So for this one, this is a robot specifically designed for gardening. And in my head, I kind of want to do a robot that just has gardening as a hobby. You know, so it's not really built to be a gardener robot, but it just likes, you know, just likes to garden. And so another thing I want to add is be creative like that. So sometimes you might have a prompt, right? Like a gardener robot. And I think most people would gear towards like, okay, a robot made for gardening. But then you could also try to think of the prompt and go beyond it. You know, like another one would be a robot that just has it as a hobby, you know. And I guess another tip I could give is try to tell a story. So try to tell a story with your character design. And so like right now, I'm gonna draw another robot. So right here. What I was thinking actually is I really like the tub design. So maybe right there. Right there. And again, whenever you're making another design, try to carry over the things that you really liked about the first one. Drawing a robot that's an animal, yeah, for sure. You could try. And then right here. So my concept for this one is that it's like a big, like fighting robot that doesn't want to fight anymore, and it just so happened to have like grass growing on it, and it's like, okay, I want to take care of it. I want to take care of the plants that's growing on me. So right there. I'm gonna add like the flowers again. Doot, doot. A bug robot, a literal computer bug, maybe. A bat robot. I don't know if a bat robot would make sense for a gardener, but... So like right here, I want to draw like a big, tough looking robot. And then maybe on here, has the little arms again. Like that. Like that. And maybe this time, instead of it being arms, so maybe only one of them is an arm, but then on the other side, you know, I was thinking maybe it has like a gun, but instead of it being a gun, he turned it into like a watering can. So like right there, or maybe like a welding thing. It was supposed to be for like fixing himself, but now it's just for gardening, for his hobby. Like that. And right there. So maybe I'll put like a little straw. Really, I think it's the same for every other animal. Like seeds don't get digested, and then this works, you know, it just works for spreading the veggie or like the fruit. Yeah. Right there we have a funny robot design, and maybe I'll make the head a little bit smaller. Make it a little bit more dinky. Right there. And I'm gonna draw. Maybe this one is more, let's see. It's gonna look more intimidating, even though it doesn't want to be intimidating anymore. You know, that sort of deal. So I got robot. And I'm not gonna worry too much about the joints yet, just yet. Right there. And let's see. there. And while I'm doing this sketch, actually, while I'm oh, am I drawing on one layer? Yes, I am. Let me try that again, because I do want to move the legs around. What I'm doing right here is, even though I'm drawing just simple blobs, I'm still trying to keep track of where things are. So for example, this is the thigh, and then I know this is the knee, and then this is the calf. You know, so where I know for a fact that this is where it's gonna bend. So right there. And right there. Oh. There we go. And maybe I'll make the shoulders less big actually. So let me merge it together. I like the robots in Stray, they have a lot of personality. Yeah, take inspiration for sure from stuff that you like. Yeah, the robots word. Like one of my favorites is the Protectron actually. It just looks so cool. Like even though they're like these dinky like little robots, I think they look cool. So they're like, and they have like the gold head. I'm trying to draw them from like memory. And then beep. Yeah, I like the cola one. Like the big cola robot. That one. You don't need to apologize for being late. Just welcome. Welcome to the stream. And then right here. So yeah, this robot, it just has gardening as a hobby right here. It was supposed to be a fighting robot, but he's given it up. No more fighting for this robot. Okay, I'm gonna add maybe some moss to add like character onto it. Then right here. And then just a simple head. And maybe maybe something funny would be there you go. There and there. And you can see, you know, now that we have our second design coming along, what I did, again, to reiterate, is I carried over things that I like. So I really like the arm on the sides, and so I added them, but then the change I wanted to do is that I wanted to have less of them. Because this one has like 6 arms, right, in total. But for this one, I was thinking, okay, let me try having it with less arms. And so I tried that. And then another idea I had, right, was earlier, they were holding the tools. So maybe for this one, it's like repurposed. So we got like a watering tool right here for the hand. He's like missing one hand, but this time it's just built in, you know, instead of it being held, just like that. Never changes. Yes, classic quote. And so again, now that I have it, I'm gonna try to think of other things I associate with gardening, because I associate like gloves, I associate the straw hat. Maybe I associate like boots as well. I don't know how I'll add boots to this robot, but I'll find a way, I guess. So big red boots or something. And right now, I'm not worrying too much about the color. I'm worrying about the what's it called? I'm worrying about just the shapes for now. Like I got that. But I don't know. Big red boots, I think maybe not. Maybe not like that. Maybe I'll make it more robotic. So like that. I'll make it more subtle, I think. Right there. And then the heels, just like that. It was fun to draw the recipients where the water and seeds go attached somewhere on the robot. Is this an outdoor or indoor robot? Well, that's a good question, but I think I think for both, they're indoor if you let them in, and they're outdoor if you let them out. Like maybe they could adapt to where they are, because I think robots, right? They don't really need to. They don't have physical limitations, so maybe our robot, we could try to accommodate for that. But maybe for the first one, they can adapt to it because they're like an advanced robot, for my example. But maybe this guy, to tell a little bit of a story, you know, he's been hanging out. He's been hanging outside, and yeah, he's like a stray robot, maybe. Yeah, that's a good question, actually. So again, try to tell a story, you know, nice story to go along with your designs. Right here. Maybe I'm gonna add more moss. Can never go wrong with more moss. And you can see that I'm adding moss in places where light wouldn't typically reach, because that's where moss likes to grow. So like right there, maybe I'm gonna make it a little bit darker. What if flowers don't do good in the shade and then they die? Yeah, I think I did take that into account, and that's why the flowers, they're always on top. You know, they never really grow anywhere else. So on this one, right, the big tub is like right here. Like right there. So it's at the top. And then maybe let's see. Let me merge my layers. Bloop, bloop. Erase that. Erase that. So I was thinking, right, like maybe since this robot is always outside, when it has to cover up the plants, I was thinking that they would, let's see. To protect their plants, they would just do this. Let's see. With their arm. They would just like cover it up like that. Yeah. I really wanted this robot to be like really cute, you know, have like lots of personality. Since they're not made to be a gardening robot, they have to like work with what they got, you know, and I think that's cute. And he's like, maybe he's like, no. Or maybe he's like, it's raining and I'll add like, or not maybe raining, maybe it's just like sunny, but there you go. Stuff like that, you know, try to think of little things like that that will be related to the purpose. So how will they protect the plant, you know? Yeah, it really is. So I think my tip for exploring ideas in traditional is don't be shy with using paper. So use as much paper as you can and use sticky notes. So for example, if I were to do that thing I just did, right, where I tried to do a revision, what I would do is I would put a sticky note over my sketch. This is like a technique I see around. Let's say I got my sticky note, and then I'm just gonna try to redraw it again, right? Because I know sticky notes, they're not, they're like sometimes slightly transparent. And so now I'm gonna try to draw like that. I'm gonna draw the hand like covering up the what's it called, the flowers. But the hard thing about the sticky note is that you're gonna have to redraw it. You're gonna have to redraw some details. So right there, right there. Gonna redraw the details that I covered up. Then right there. Doot, 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 doot. And then the flowers. Yeah, it's definitely way more primitive because I just want to show like how I would do it. And so if I brighten it up, it'd be like that. So you'd have like a cover version, and then you could just like take the sticky note off, just like that. It's fun. The robot was a war machine for the hand. Maybe it was for passengers. Yeah. You guys are getting into the mindset. Yeah, for sure. We don't know what size this robot is, actually. So, I think my original concept, actually, in my head, I guess I didn't explain it, is that this robot, let's see. Let me fix up my layers, actually. What time is it? Okay, halfway through. We're halfway through the stream. My original concept is that it was pretty similar to the mech that I made in the stream, in like the mech stream from earlier. So maybe his backstory, you know, he looks pretty old, but he did modifications to himself. So I was picturing that he used to look like this, like big robot, meant for fighting, and then I think he'd be like a cool robot like this. And he has like a visor maybe. So back in his fighting days, maybe he looked like this. But then he just took off the helmet. You know, he took off the helmet because there's like lots of space here. And it just so happened that plants started growing on him. And he was like, hey, I want to take care of plants. So that's his little backstory. And I think I've had enough designs. Yeah, he's retired. Yeah, that's a good way of putting it. He's retired. And so now, this is where you guys come in. So number 1 and number 2. I'm gonna do a little poll on chat here. Give me a second. So, number 1 and number 2. Yeah, so I put up a poll in chat, so be sure to check it out, you know, see the poll, vote, and which one would you want me to do? Yeah, which one would you like fully colored and all that? I'll give you guys a few minutes and just chat with chat while I wait. Yeah. This robot, he's gaining sentience, you know, he's like, I want to do my own thing. I'm retired. All this fighting stuff's kind of tiring, you know. Oop. Oh, I'm back reading right now. Ooh, a tail or a third leg for balance. That's a good point. Oh, thank you. Yeah, I always like it when people say they like my voice. Second one has more personality, for sure. I agree. I like the second one as well. But don't let that stray you from what you want. Vote for what you like. And let's see. Yeah, that's true. I mean, this guy has a backstory too. He has a cool hat. So he probably likes that hat. He didn't have to have that hat. And he was made for gardening, you know? So they're two sides of the same coin. They both like gardening, but they were made for different things. Mix between the first one and the second one. I think mixing them right now would be a bit too difficult. It would take a lot of time. But maybe if we had more time, I would have combined them. But that's still a good idea. Maybe you could do that for yourself. Oh, no, sad backstory for the first robot. Okay. Hold up. Maybe I'll try to draw that. I'll give him a cool backstory as well. So maybe we got... This is the guy who built him. And he built them when he was 6 years old. And now he's still doing the same thing. Yeah. So I'm gonna draw his creator, I guess. Boop. And he has a little cane. But this isn't just any cane. Maybe this is a futuristic. This is the future. We got robots, so this is a future grandpa. Or maybe he's happy. And not only that, this is a cyber cane. You could tell because it has LEDs on it. Just made Soldier 76 for Overwatch. Right there. Boom. There you go. Now he has a backstory. Wear and tear. Yeah, that's true. So maybe I'll add some wear and tear on the little hat. But anyway, I think that should be enough. I will end the poll now. How do I end the poll? There we go. End poll. Yeah. Looks like number 2, it won by a landslide. Well, not by a landslide, but won by a good amount. So maybe next time for Mr. Gardening Robot right here. But I will leave Gardening Grandpa right here. Cyber Grandpa on the side. So yeah. Thanks for voting. And right there. I'll just keep him right there. And now I'm gonna start to flesh out the idea. There. Put that on the side. Bloop. Now I don't need this. And where is it? Let me fix up my files before I continue on. Very important to keep your workspace tidy. And so now I'm gonna copy paste and make this bigger. Make him way bigger. Like that. Maybe I'll put these on the side actually. And I'm trying to look for where the grandpa is. There we go. Copy and paste. Put him on the side. Grandpa. And got the robots. Shrink it down. I just think it's nice to work and see where where we started off. So I'll put them on the side like that. And maybe I'll flip it. Just because I'm too lazy to rearrange it. Like that. Yeah, tri-dimensional. Exactly. So this is what I want to encourage as well with this stream. When you draw any sort of shape, always think about how it's 3D. So don't just draw like a flat bowl like this one. I mean, it would work, right? It would work if you drew a bowl, but try to give some dimension to it. So even like the slightest bit of dimension would help. So even though it's not fully in a certain view, try to think of how it would taper, how it would do in perspective. So I'll compare it, right? Like this one, it was just a straight up side profile, just the bowl, right? This is what it looks like. But by adding that little touch right here, so I'm adding this because that's like the top, right? This is the top where all the flowers are. And by adding that, it gives it a lot more dimension. So like that. Maybe you could slightly see the other eye. That. So yeah, always try to think of how to add dimension to your sketch. And so now, I'm fighting Ro. Maybe in an alternate universe, Grandpa is the one who is fighting, and then he's like, you know what? I'll make this robot. I don't know. The lore. That's always the fun part about thinking of lore for your characters. So maybe actually, let me fix it up. Maybe I'll, instead of having the arm be like that, I'll have it be like that, Now I'm gonna add the arm. And just like that. Well, it doesn't look very good actually. Let me try that again. Yeah, I'm gonna try to make it clear. I'm gonna draw this like little tube shape. And I'm slightly redesigning the watering can thingy. That doesn't work either, actually. It's not in perspective. Not in the perspective that I want, at least. So I want it to be like that, and then like that. I think this is perfect. It doesn't look clear enough, so maybe I'll try again, actually. Because I want it to be obvious that this is an arm. And in those perspectives, it was not very obvious that it was an arm. So maybe like this. Like right there, and there. There. Don't doubt myself. Let's see. Let's see. I'm catching up on chat. I think of bugs. Yeah, I know. I love... Honestly, bugs are so cool. Like, all their joints, all their like multiple legs, but I just can't bear myself to look at them. I want to use them as reference, but I can't. It's too yucky. And then, yeah, maybe I'll just try to keep it simple. Just like that. And then I think I'm just gonna keep the dinky, derpy looking head. Because I like it. But maybe I'll add like a crack right here. For like the flower to grow on. Yeah. Just to give it more character. And I think in this phase, it's all about trying to figure out all the details. Because earlier, right, it was all pretty vague what the details were. And now I'm leaving nothing up to my imagination. I'm gonna draw them in full detail. So for example, this arm. I'm gonna draw them now in how it's supposed to be, or how I picture them. So I was thinking it's like the stretchy sort of arm. So like right there. That. Maybe I'll add like some stuff like that. Then the little nicks and dents. And then I'm gonna add right there. And I think this is the fun part. So a good way to practice is to have like a 3D shape like this one, maybe like a spear, right? And then you would just add stuff on top of it. Try to think of cool shapes for your robot. So for example, in this shape, I was thinking of doing like a chest plate sort of thing. And like that one, this would be the, what's it called? The waist, right? Just like that. And then on the bottom part, you see how the circle spear, right? I'm gonna follow that curve. And that's how I know it would curve like that. So stuff like that. You know, this is the fun part where you're just defining the shapes and all that. And I think I'm gonna move the arm a little bit more inward right here. So right there. And then this is like gunked up by moss. And then right there. Third option, Cyber Grandpa. Hello. Yeah, thanks for dropping by and stream and saying hi. The robot is... Yeah, that's true. It's like one of those, well, I don't know what they're called, but like the baby harness. So like, they got like the... Got like a stinky baby right there. Like one of these, you know, and then you're like... Doop, doop. And a little rattle. One of these. It does look like that now that you mention it. See, that was unintentional. That was a really good observation, actually. So maybe if you were designing this robot, you could lean into that, you know. So he's like wearing a garden harness. And so now I'm gonna gonna draw the fist here. Yeah, I want to still look pretty tough. Yeah, I always mess up with how fingers bend here, but that, make this bigger. That baby needs more sun. A stinky baby, yeah. Uh-oh, stinky. Also, I just think it's funny. Have a stinky one. And we got the arm, just like that. And then I'll add like this nice shape to it. And maybe, what time is it? Okay, we have about 30 minutes. And I do a big stretch. Whoa, I've been drawing for an hour, baby. But let's see. Maybe I'll add that. And I'll try to separate the two now. Trying to think of how the joint would work. There. Yeah, so I think we have like a nice layout now compared to what we started off with from earlier. So maybe I'm gonna change the leg a little bit actually. So I'm gonna merge it. I'm gonna change this leg specifically. Because I think like one of you guys said, it doesn't look very balanced. So let me erase that. So maybe I'm gonna move the leg a little bit backward. And maybe slightly like this. That, and then the bends like that. This one's gonna be real simple. And I think this pose looks way more balanced compared to earlier. And the heel, just like that. Draw the inside lenses. Oh, thank you. Yeah, I hope you guys are inspired to draw your own. You know, it doesn't have to be a gardener robot, but what I want you guys to get out of the stream is to, you know, learn how to draw 3D shapes, how to picture it, and the thought process that goes into it. Don't do this very often, but I use. Oh my gosh, you should blink when you draw. I think that's a basic. Please blink. Don't burn your eyeballs with like having a bee dry. But it's okay. It happens. We tend to forget our motor functions when we draw. But I'm trying to think if I should do line art. Maybe I won't, because it usually takes too long to do line art anyway. And so, erase you. And now I'm just gonna lay down like the colors. There. And I think I'm gonna start off with like I don't know what color a robot should be. Maybe like a gold. Like a rusty gold, I was thinking. Right there. Yeah, so this part, I will be fully focused on it. Just because it usually takes a while. Just filling in all the details. There. So I'm gonna fill in the base color of the whole body. And then I'll try to figure out what to do from there. So we got that. And let's see. You can just say the liner is very sketchy. I could, but I want to focus on the colors. That's more the main reason. It's just that for line art, it's basically just you're drawing all over again, you know, but nicer. And I think we don't have that kind of time, so I'm trying to budget my time here and just say, hey, there you go. I'm just gonna focus on color. There. And then we got that. And color this in. And like that. And like that. And let me turn off the sketch. See, we have a really nice silhouette going on here. Yeah, I know. I just I think it just takes too time because when I stream, I do focus on trying to tell you guys what I want to tell you instead of doing line art. Because line art, there's not really much to say other than the line weights, and I think Jesse's already made a video on it. So I feel like it'd be redundant, to just go over it. And right here, this is one of my favorite parts, the shading, because let's see. Because right now, if I look at the color, it's very flat, right? But now we're gonna give it some definition. And whenever I do that, I shade in a direction. So like this. So you can see that I'm not shading like straight, like this one. I'm shading in such a way that it hugs the curvature of our robot. Just like that. If I turn it off, you can see that it's starting to take form. Just like that. There. I'll often clean up my sketches so that you can skip line work. Yeah, word. The video I watched where the line art was messy, but it looked clean due to the colors drawn under it. Yeah. See, there's so many different ways to draw like the same thing. And, that one, I can't answer that for you guys. It's up to you guys to experiment. Because what I like may not be what you guys like, So, yeah. Just try to figure it out. And it'll be fun. And so, let's see. How did I draw it? Oh, it ends right here. And then I'm gonna make this inner part like a darker shade. So right here, I'm gonna shade it up. Not because this part is like the inner workings, sort of. So we got that. And yeah, right now I'm just gonna try to separate everything. Also, this is the nice thing about no line art. It's the colors that do the talking. It's not the line art. You're not fully relying on like the lines that you make. It's just about the shape. It's fun. What's this brush? It's an oil pastel brush. It just says oil pastel in Japanese, but there's nothing special to it. Just a hard brush that could mix around, so yeah. Dude. Yeah, I think this is a free brush from Clip Studio Paint. So it's not really like a paid brush or anything like that. And right there. Yeah, see, the thing with brushes is that, yeah, it's true that it helps a lot, but what you should look at in a brush is what you're comfortable with, because this brush is not what makes it good. Like, I'm not good because of the brush. I'm good because I know how to use the brush. So try to look for a brush that works for you, because when you get a brush, it doesn't automatically make you a good one, like a good at who, or as good as the person you're looking up to, What are some of my favorite brushes? What do you think works for the best general detail? Honestly, in any default detail, or software, all you really need is a soft brush like this, and a hard brush like this one. Because hard and soft edges is how I work, pretty much, and I'll show you in a little bit after. But, yeah. Let's see. I'm gonna add you black. Maybe I'm gonna add like a darker... Where is it? Let me add the details back. Like right there. I'm gonna add like a little shape right here, and then yeah, I gotta hyper focus for this part because I want to make sure that everything is right so that we could just freely color. Yeah, and so for this part, I'm pretty much just hardening the edges, you know, trying to define like the separate panels of the robot right here. Beep. Honestly, I'm just making cool shapes. To put it simply, I'm just making cool shapes. Yeah, so you could mess around with simple brushes, and while you're messing around, try to think of questions that you have, like, oh, I wish this had a little bit more texture, or I wish it wasn't as hard, you know, like stuff like that. And then try to figure out what brushes line up with what you like. You know, like what brushes would have those sort of characteristics. And what time is it? Okay. In good time. And so right now I'm darkening everything, and then I'm gonna lighten everything again afterwards. It's just so it's easier to picture the separation between the parts. There, the little ding, and then the joints. And I really like this brush because it has a little bit of blending to it. So even though it's a really hard brush, it can still blend around like an oil pastel. It's trying to be reminiscent of an oil pastel. So right there. Maybe I'll extend the thumb a little bit, actually. Or it doesn't look like it. Let me see. Trying to fix the thumb here a little bit. Yeah, I think this should be good. Doop, doop. A little shadow. And another shadow to separate the heel right here. A very beautiful robot. Yeah, welcome back. Yeah, exactly. Soft and hard edges. Oh my gosh. They're the best. That's what I work with all the time. It's pretty much how I shade. So right there. And got the thingy and the arm. Just like that. And like that. And I think I put enough detail where I don't need to sketch anymore. And so now I'm just gonna draw the what's it called? I'm gonna draw the greenery right here. And this is the wrong brush. Maybe a bit too dark. Maybe lighter. So oh right, I forgot to draw the other arm actually. So before I forget, I draw the other arm. What did it look like? There we go. Maybe I'm gonna need the sketch back. Right here. Then get the black. Right here. And the arm. So right now I'm just pretty much defining all the shapes that I wanted to draw from earlier. Doop, doop, and the fingers. And I think that should be it for real now. Just a matter of the plants. And stretch. What is the surface of the robot made of? Are you keeping it a skin tone? Oh yeah, I like to start with really muted tones, but it's gonna be like a rusty metal. That's why I started off with like a golden sort of color scheme. So now I'm gonna... Where is it? Doop. Yeah, maybe I'll just merge it all to one layer, just because it's more manageable. And then there. Then I'm gonna add like a little bit of like the circular shape of the head, and another layer. So he's overgrown. Now it's time to add all the moss right here. Well, for this part, it's not moss, but so maybe I'll try to distinguish the two right here. So maybe this one's a bit more blue, because I know moss likes to hide in like the darker parts. Maybe a little bit more blue, actually. This has a nice differentiation, I guess. And then right there. And then there will be moss under here as well. Copper, yeah. Nice green from the rust, yeah. This is a future copper, coparium. I don't know. Copium. This is copium. And then right there. And the thigh, since it's a little bit more in shadow, I will do that. And again, as a reminder, I didn't really focus on rendering too much in this one, because we spent all our efforts in designing a robot, right? So try to think of the purpose, right? Because I think a common thing I see in my students is they like to do a lot of things at the same time. They're like, oh, okay, I'm gonna draw the character in a cool pose and this like new outfit that I've never drawn before, and this cool background with neon lighting. And then they tell me that they've never really drawn any of those before. And you know, it's good. It's good that you're trying like new stuff out, but try to balance it, you know. So maybe if it's like too new, or like if it's too overwhelming, then take one step at a time, you know. So maybe you could start off with one thing first, and then the other the next. And maybe pretty soon you'd be comfortable doing all of them at the same time, like you've always dreamed of. So yeah, take it slow. And right there, I'm adding like the minor like mossy details onto each of the crevices here. And maybe on here there's also moss. Right here. What time is it actually? Oh, okay. Well, welcome. Nice to have viewers all the way from different parts in the world. And then there. And right, I wanted to add like the crack on the head right here. So the way I add that is I add the dark color, just like that, and just like that. Or actually, it doesn't look rounded at all, so let me try to round it out. So even this crack, it takes the shape of the thing it's adhered to. So like there, and then the crack, and then maybe nice green eyes, or maybe red. Red is too. I'm trying to figure out what kind of color I should have for the eyes. Maybe I'll figure it out later. But right now, I gotta check. We drawn plant robots. We are. Yeah, thanks. And yes, it is Clip Studio Paint for for my software. And I think now I'm gonna add some definition onto the arm here. Beep. Beep. What time is it? Okay. A little bit time conscious because I don't want to run out of time before I finish my robot here. Okay, I think I'm gonna merge them all now. Or maybe not yet. there. Hmm. Right there. Hello there. Cyberpunk, yeah, I know. Cyberpunk is the definition of like over designed, so maybe try to start off simple and then overcomplicate from there. Like how I'm doing. That's pretty much how I do most of my stuff. And maybe I'll just do black for like the eyes for now. And then I'll add a nice shadow at the bottom here. Just like that. So here's another tip. Always work big and then work small afterwards. So big to small. So you can see that I did some broad strokes, and now that I have all the broad strokes out of the way, this is when I'm doing all the minor stuff, like all the detailing. Like that. The thing attaches. Why is this just so wide? Well, he has a whole backstory, okay? He was a fighting robot. You know, he was out and about. But he's retired now. And he kind of modified himself to be a garden robot because stuff started growing on his chest right here. And then he rearranged himself to take care of the robot. Or to take care of the plants like that. So yeah. These are like our concepts. And yes, I tried. Let's see. Big shapes. Yes, the lore drops. Thank you, Vati Vidya. And wait, I want to add like the flower on top. Flower. Just notice, yeah, he does have little arms. So in my lore, it was supposed to be like repair arms, so it's supposed to be for repairing himself, but now it's not so much. Not so much for repairing, it's just for taking care of plants now. I just had an idea actually, so what if this flower, so like that. So it's kind of like hair. Kind of like this one. So there you go. He has nice and spiffy hair now. And that. This is really nice actually. This looks so cool. And then a nice bright magenta flower that I will design later. And yeah, maybe I'll make it multiple flowers to justify how big and meaty the flowers are. Or how big and meaty the leaves are, I mean. And then right here, what time is it? We got 7 minutes. I prefer digital. Honestly, I haven't drawn traditionally in years. TBH. It's been a hot minute. But yeah. I'm gonna add, let's see. I'm gonna add more detailing onto the robot. So right here. Yeah, so these are like the metal sheen, I guess, on the robot. And maybe this one I'll make it darker, just to signify that it's in shadow. And what I'm doing right now is I'm just trying to describe as much as possible like what their texture is like. So honestly, I wouldn't do this as like a final image, right? Like if this is something like I would put on a game cover, I wouldn't use this drawing. This is just for figuring out what they look like. So yeah, always remember the purpose of your drawing. And then right there. And I'm gonna darken this part a little bit. Add some shadow. And then I'm gonna add some bright lights, some brighter areas, not too bright like that, just to give it some more definition. Just like that. Wally, yeah. Honestly, this is like a recurring theme in my streams. If you ask me to name my characters, I will not. I will draw blanks because I am not very good at naming. I don't know, it's just something I struggle with. And right there. And like it's all fleshy. I don't know if it would be organic. It's more like a copper sort of robot. And then right here. And right here. Let's see. And I'm gonna add a little bit more shadow onto the bottom here. We shall name I for you, Iggy. Oh yes, it's there you go. I was like, what I? His name is Bartholomew. Ho ho. Yeah, I just realized your name. Ho ho ho. Muda muda. And right here. Gonna add some shading. The bottom, make it darker. Ooh. Let's see. Oh yes. Yeah. You spotted one. And I love that anime so much. And I think I'm gonna add a little bit more detail onto here. Because a little bit hidden. And I think I'm gonna rearrange the arm actually. So I think it's a little bit too high up. Doop. So I'm gonna... Oh, it's the wrong layer. So I'm gonna rearrange like that. And what time is it? Is this Sue? Alright, we'll name them Sue. I dub thee Sue. There you go. And maybe I wanted to add something. What time is it? I'm always like really conscious of the time because I don't want to overextend and what is wrong with my brush? Let's see. I am drawing on the right layer, so I think I'm gonna add a little bit more detail onto the arm here because I think it's looking a little bit too bare. Yeah, Sue is a wonderful name. It do be a wonderful name. And then right here I'm just adding like a little bit more like mechanical looking parts to the arm, make it look more beefy and make it look more like it could hold its weight. Because I think it was a little bit too noodly for my taste from earlier. And then here. Let's see. Trying to look at the picture as a whole now. Oh, Iggy. Oh yeah, you figured it out. My secret. I have the same name as one of the characters. But I've only watched like a few episodes of the OVA. Yeah, honestly about AI. I think it would be cool if like what was it? If they had like maybe 10 artists, right? Who were like, yeah, you could use it. And then they draw and then they like use the AI to make stuff. But I think the main problem right now is that they're just kind of taking, you know, art from people who didn't really ask for it. That's also one of the problems for AI. Because I see you guys talking about it. But yeah, the animation of that, to go back, yeah, the animation of that OVA is really good. for sure. It's so different from like the newer ones, but honestly, the newer ones are so good. Like I wouldn't change anything about them. The newer series, so amazing. Atomic, not much. I've never really played it, but it looks okay. I mean, from what my friends are saying, like they thought it was okay. Like it was an okay game, and so I'll take their word for it. And I think I'm gonna try speedrunning actually, because I think I'm almost out of time. I think I actually am out of time. So let me try to add like all the last few details. So like right here, of course, the most important part, the flowers. So I'm gonna add the red. Right there. Oh, it should be way higher up. Like that. And right now, I won't have much of a... I won't really add too much detail onto the flowers. It'll just be squiggles like this. Because I should wrap up soon. Sadly, that's all the time we have. But I still do want to make this a nice and pretty drawing. So, let me zoom out. And I think it's high time to merge all of you together. And then I'm gonna add a little shadow onto the flowers right here, just to have some distinction between them. Adding a little bit of noise to make it look like it's multiple flowers right here. And I'm gonna add, yeah, I'll be a little bit hyper focused on this part, but I will try to go back to chat in a little bit here after I do all the minor stuff. Word, Sue does have thunder thighs here, like my robot. Boom. And big arms too. Boom. Because he used to be a fighting robot. Bloop. 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 And... Bloop. And let's see. Oh, Sue, thank you for the super chat. Yeah, you're always so consistent with the super stickers. You could also do the super chat, you know, you could say something specifically. But these are still nice, so we still appreciate them, of course. But thank you. Thank you for always supporting the channel. And I think I'll add heels, like the little heels. And yeah, and I guess this is a good time to not only thank Sue, but everybody who supports the channel, you know. And yeah, it really helps a lot for us to keep making free stuff for YouTube. Yeah, because like I say in the intro, we're actually like an art school, so we're mostly like classes. And so like every bit helps, I guess, for this one. And then right there, we got the nice robot. And okay, maybe I'll add a little bit more shadowing. Let's see. Right there. Or like the stream. Like, comment, subscribe. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Be sure to hit the notification bell. Or whatever YouTubers say. And I think I want to add a little bit more wear and tear to our robot. Blend up a little bit right here. Add some nicks and dents. Yeah, this is the part where, you know, we work really hard to figure out what our robot looks like. And this is pretty much like the victory lap, because now we're just adding like the details and brightening him up, like spiffing, making him look all nice and detailed. And I think I will try my best. I will add the few details I have in mind, and then I will wrap up for real. And then right here. And let's see. I think I'm gonna add like a little bit of a shine. Doot, doot. A little bit of a shine right there. So it's not really anything like complicated, right? Just a simple line. And then the water, I think. Let's see. I'm zooming out and looking at the whole picture to see if I missed anything, but I think I'm gonna darken a few areas, like right here. Bloop, bloop, bloop. There, I'm gonna grab my airbrush just to darken that part a little. Or actually, maybe not that part, maybe this part. And then the water. Last but not least. I'm trying to think of how to do the water effect. So maybe I'll do this actually. There we go. There we go. Yeah, perfect. So we got the water. Gonna draw the little drizzles right there. And so yeah, I think that's about all I have for today's stream. Right there, we have came up with a pretty nice design. We got Sue the robot, the gardening robot, retired gardening robot. And I hope you guys have fun. And again, what I want you guys to leave off on is the mindset. So try to figure out the robot's purpose and then try to draw like several designs for it. You know, don't get hung up on like minor details. So start small, and then start with big broad strokes and then add the details, right? That's like a good way to work. And other than that, before I leave on, I do want to remind everybody again that we are an art class, or an art school, I should say, and we have art classes. You know, I teach a few classes, so if you want like feedback and like have me in person, we have limited spots, so be sure to check it out. And I think next week we have a special thing. We have spring break camps, so yeah, so be sure to check that out if you want to do the camps, like everyday lessons with me and other streamers. And other than that, yeah, let me read chat. What people are saying. Yes, it's hot. It's a cute robot right there that we designed together. But yeah, I hope you guys have fun. Yeah, okay, this was fun. Through the robot. And I hope you guys have a good rest of the week. So yeah, bye bye. See you everybody. Bye.